Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited, Benny, about today's show. And I think you're going to relate to this too, Benny.
Oh, good.
It is becoming a fearless parent with Debbie Pokornik.
Oh, man, I dream of that.
Today. I know.
I totally dream of that.
Fearless parent, Benny, right? I mean, I don't even know. It's hard to even comprehend, right?
Yeah, especially when you're overprotective. It makes sense.
Just a little bit right there, right? But listen, this is why we have her on the show. This is why Debbie's coming on the show today. You know, for those of you out there, I know you've heard her fabulous show, but as somebody that's out there, that has been in the world, that is an author, a social worker, an enlightened guide, but most importantly, stepping boldly forward is what she does. Questioning things, looking at things differently. And then when the answers come or not come, what do you do with that? And so how do we get this place of alignment? How do we look at, you know, one of the things that we may be called to do in life, and maybe that thing is not what we're called to do. But when you get the realization, when the light bulb goes on, how can you be sure that you really are home for it? Debbie, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Pat. I am thrilled to be back speaking with you.
Listen, I want to ask you this question. You know, I was talking on the last show, I was talking about there's an energy you could feel. Now, I have been a little bit under the weather, as you can hear, for about the past week. And I needed to be so that I could be quiet, I could let the ideas come forward, and then I can take some action. But fear, whether it's fear of who we are, fear of our lives that we're creating for children and grandchildren, fear of the outside world, I got to tell you, it cuts as sharp as a knife sometimes. So you're going to help us understand fear or vibrancy. How do we choose and welcome?
Well, that is just so aptly put, because you're right. Fear is such a big part of being human. And so we're not ever going to get rid of it. One of the things that I really like people to understand is fear is not a bad thing, in that it's really out to protect you. Okay. Yeah. And when we recognize that, once we have a kind of plan, we can take a step back and say, all right, so you want to protect me from what? And therein lies the key, right? Because we know so often the fear is completely unfounded, or, it hasn't happened yet. So why spend energy on it now? So to me, the really big difference between being a vibrant person and living in fear is tapping into that confidence. You cannot be confident and fearful at the same time, right?
Right.
They don't work together. And so a truly vibrant person is a person who is tuned in to their own natural resiliency. Okay, that ability, that recognition that I can handle whatever life throws my way. I might not like it. I might not enjoy it. It might hurt, but I can handle it. That's going to be the first thing that we're going to spend some time on for sure. Self-awareness is a big part of being vibrant. So tuning into what's going on for you. Where's this coming from? Why am I feeling this way? What does it mean? Right? Not just stuffing it, ignoring it, going, oh, I'm just so scared. And finally, doing what I like to call using trust with a capital T. A little bit different than just normal trust. And so when we do those things, we end up being way more vibrant. And when we're in that vibrant state, there's no place for fear other than it being the simple little messenger that it's meant to be.
You know, this is such a timely conversation that you and I are having, because there is an energy right now in the world with people that have not been able to come forward in a fearless way, but all of a sudden are feeling, you know, vibrant in their lives, or feeling like I'm not alone, you know, feeling like there's something to be said or there's something to do, right? But this fear shadow energy, as you talk about, it doesn't go away. There's not like a magic pill for it that we love to have, is there?
No, I mean, it's absolutely like your shadow. It gets bigger and smaller depending on where you're standing. And so the best thing you could do is shine a light on it and really take a look at it, because there's no other way to get rid of shadow. So shadow's never going to go away. It's always going to be there. But when we truly become aware of it, I mean, lots of people like to talk about fear as false evidence appearing real. And most of us buy into that. We start thinking that, oh my gosh, this is a real problem. This is going to hurt me or hurt my child or whatever. And then we succumb to the fear. And what we do, it's like we're darkening things. We're allowing even more of the shadow to take over the room. And that doesn't serve us. That energy is a really big problem for us.
Well, and the other thing, too, that you're going to talk about today is it immobilizes us, right?
Yes.
There's no way for our light to shine when fear has center stage. I mean, we may get glimpses of radiance and brilliance and, you know, because it's really hard to keep our spirit down when you think about it. But you're talking about choosing something powerful, aren't you?
Absolutely. I'm talking about waking up that side of yourself that allows you to shine out. And so fear can be put in its place. It can be used the way it's meant to be used, which is just to keep us safe, to keep us questioning, checking things out without immobilizing us and stopping us from really tapping into that inner knowing, which is that trust with a capital T. It's that sense of, I know I can handle this. I might not like it, but I know I can do it. And that is just such a powerful place to start.
Yeah. I mean, isn't the notion of stepping in, you know, this is so interesting. We're talking about this today. I was sharing something, Debbie, with someone about a week ago, and they had found a publication I did, 2001. And they were reading it. It's very academic thing, paper.
Okay.
And it was all about trust and what happens with trust. What kinds of things will build trust from a very empirical point of view, and what kinds of things have an effect on it. But the one thing in the end that studies like that don't really grab onto is the capital T trust.
Yes.
They don't grab that. You know, the empirical work is great. But I was very fortunate to be able to squeak a little capital T in that paper.
Yes.
Very little. What have you learned and can share with us on how do we take that little small T and build it into a capital T?
Well, you know that the small T trust.
Yeah.
Okay, it suggests a polarity that this could work out and it might work out, it might not work out. I trust that it's going to work out. But there's still that door open for it to not work out. The capital T trust is tapping into your higher self, right? And it's the ego side of you who lives in fear. The higher self does not have that same fear. That higher self is connected to your inner knowing. So it's connected to something much bigger than you. And that's where you can absolutely say, I know I can do this. And I know I kind of keep repeating that, but it's so important for us. I mean, even if you say the words, if you say, I think I can do this, and then you move on to, I trust I can do this. And then you move on to, I know I can do this. And really feel into it. you can feel the difference in those 3 sentences.
Yeah.
And just a simple little thing like that of what do I know? I know that no matter what, I am going to protect my child or help my child get through this, or whatever the case might be. I am going to deal with that colleague at work. I know I can do it. I don't know how, but I know I can do it. That's capital T trust.
Well, what we're talking about here today, and when we look at this and we think about, wait a minute, how do I become that fearless parent? How do I do that? You know, and I think Benny said it earlier. I mean, there are moments that we become very, very protective, and we don't even know it sometimes that we are. Today, you're going to take us on a journey for how do we do that and yet stay true to who we are and take our power back from fear. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about reclaiming our power. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? And how do we show up as that? Stay tuned. Debbie Pokornik joining me here today. This and a lot more right here on the Dr. Pat Show, Transformation Talk Radio. We'll be right back, everybody.
Well, if you told me you were drowning, I would not lend a hand. I've seen your face before, my friend, but I don't know if you know who I am. Well, I was there and I saw what you did.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
What is a brilliant culture, and how do we create them? Why are they important? Claudette Rowley has created a breakthrough 5-step process to help you align your culture with your business strategy for exceptional results. Looking for a culture that drives organizational excellence? Listen to Cultural Brilliance Radio, the second and fourth Friday of each month at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. To learn more or work with Claudette, visit culturalbrilliance.com.
Are you looking for the perfect setting for your next workshop or retreat? At Spirit Fire Meditative Retreat Center, cultivating consciousness is what we do best. Our guests count on us to create an atmosphere that supports serenity and well-being. We lead from the heart and create space for the mind. Freshly prepared meals designed with local and organic ingredients, 95 acres of beautiful woods and pastures, and a facility built with green in mind. This is what you'll find at Spirit Fire. For more information, visit spiritfireretreatcenter.com.
Stay juicy. Tune in to Your Juicy Love with me, Una Drake, co-hosting monthly with Dr. Pat, and every second Monday at 12 p.m. on Transformation Talk Radio. My show, Your Juicy Love, helps you find the dynamic, life-affirming love you've always wanted. Transform your relationships and bring peace, joy, and juicy, juicy love to planet Earth. For more information, visit unadrake.com.
Tune in to Mainstream Metaphysics Radio to harness your connection with the universe to effect change for optimal success and happiness. Named one of the country's top psychics, Eve now brings her insights and gifts to this weekly hit call-in show, joined by visionaries, leaders, and gifted others, but mostly you. Jot it down, Thursdays, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Best-selling author, spiritual life, and business coach Joe Nunziata brings his higher energy and no-nonsense style to people who are ready to make powerful changes now. Wake up, step up, power up with a shot of Joe. Join Joe the second and fourth Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern for 30 minutes of high energy, no nonsense, and powerful tools to make powerful changes. Visit joenuns.com. That's JOENUNZ.com.
It's all been paradise. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, and I've been waiting for this moment for all my life.
Uh-oh, singing. There we go. Hey, everybody. Yep, I'm Dr. Pat. And you're listening, Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. But joining me here today to help us all thrive is my friend, my colleague, host of a fabulous show you're going to hear about, Debbie Pokornik, becoming a fearless parent. And today is the day to do it. We just got finished talking about fear or vibrancy. How do we choose? Now we're going to talk about taking your power back from fear. Oh, boy, am I ready for this. But Debbie, before we go ahead and do that, I would love for you to tell folks how they can work with you. I would love for you to tell them about the radio show and all of the above.
Okay. Well, I would love to share that information.
Awesome.
Yeah. This year, 2018, this is going to be a huge year of awakening. Everything is in place. Planets are in place. Energies, numbers, everything is in place for really big things to happen. And so my mission is to help as many women, moms especially, to truly awaken to who they are, to what they have come here to do, to be the best mom they can be, to be the best partner they can be, to, just stand in their power at work, at home, and at play. And so my focus for the start of this year, what I want to put out, and I just came up with this thought, is I've opened some spots up to work one-on-one with people. And when I work one-on-one, I either work with them virtually. I will work with them in person, but not many people live out where I live, so it's not that easy. So I work with them virtually, and I guide them through the awakening process. So it is very tailored to them specifically. What's getting in your way? Let's remove that and see what happens. And now we can bring in these other tools. So it's very much focused on them. But here's the thing, it gets a little expensive because there's only so many of me to go around, right? And so I've decided.
I love it though.
Well, thank you.
We're looking at an expanse of nature of things. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing that.
Well, you're welcome. I got to tell you, though, it gets better. Let me tell you one other thing.
Yeah, tell me.
I've decided for your listeners, so people listening to the Dr. Pat Show, although they can tell other people and tell them to say the same thing, I'm going to give them $500 off if they sign up before April 1st. After April 1st, I get into my retreats and I'm busy doing other things and I can't do that much. But I'm going to take $500 off the price because I really want to help people awaken now. Now is the time. I don't want them to wait 10 years and come to me. I want it to be now. So that's what I'm offering, and we're going to create some groups out of that. I think we'll see what happens, which means I can help them to have the power of the group. There's just so much value in that. So I won't talk about that part of it right now, but they can certainly check out my Vibrant Powerful Mom show, which is my show on Transformation Talk Radio. And it gives them a lot of the pieces that we're talking about today that we're not going to have time to dig into as deeply. There's podcasts on all of them on the Vibrant Powerful Mom show. So.
That show is like totally awesome. It is, you're so clear, succinct, and powerfully presenting information for people to be able to say, yeah, I want more of that. Okay, now Debbie's telling me how to get it, how to do it. And, all of the time, that we listen, we know that we're not alone. I mean, you're speaking from your heart. You're not speaking from a point of, let me just pull out the book and tell you the deal. That's not what's going on here, right?
No, not even close. In fact, sometimes I have people that say, oh, yeah, I listened to your show, and they'll know my husband, but they don't really know me. And they'll say, I checked out your show, and I think, oh, so you know like all my stories, all my secrets. I know nothing about you, but you know all of them. And yeah, I sometimes wonder how my husband deals with that. His wife's laundry everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That we'll do another show on that one for sure. Okay. This is for me. I've been talking about the Golden Globe Awards, but it's not just the Golden Globe Awards. It's really been an energy and a force to be reckoned with here about what happens when we do take our power back from fear in many ways. Now, this is what you're bringing to the forefront for us now. is how do we take our power back? Why do we want to take our power back? But most importantly, what are some of the major steps that we can take, Debbie, to reclaim our power?
You know, really, Dr. Pat, it starts with what I mentioned before, resiliency. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing about resiliency. Most of us think this is something we have to learn. We need to have tools to be resilient. We need to, build up our resiliency. But we're actually born already equipped to deal with whatever life throws our way. It might not look how we want it to look. It might hurt a lot. It might feel like a really difficult situation, but we are already equipped to deal with it. And then what happens is right from a really young age, people start putting you in your place. They start telling you that your dreams are too big, you're pushing too hard, you've made all these mistakes, and these kinds of things start covering up your resiliency. So I love that Benny brought up right at the beginning about being protective. Being protective is such a natural state for all of us as parents. It is the biggest problem to covering up our kids' resiliency. It gets in the way. So we really have to become aware of what does this mean? To be resilient simply means to know that you can handle whatever life throws your way. So, if you picture a child who maybe has trouble at school, they go to school and maybe they have some kids picking on them. And then they come home and they tell their parent, and maybe they don't even tell them right away. It takes, all the way till bedtime when they finally say, "What's wrong?" And their child tells them. And the protective parent immediately, all of us do this, can go into mother bear mode. Right?
Yeah.
And they start thinking, that's it. I'm phoning the school. And honey, you just have to tell your teacher. And we start telling them the things that they need to do. And this has this underlying message. You cannot handle this yourself. I have to fix it for you. And that's not our intention. We're such good people. We come from a place of total love. Yet we think this is what we're supposed to do. And it's even worse if we do phone the school. If we do say, okay, now teacher, you need to protect my child. Like get in there and do something, or I will. I'll start phoning those kids' parents. I'm going to do whatever I need to do. I will move them out of that school. Every single one of those things is sending a message to your child, you can't handle this. You're not strong enough. And I like to think of it as instead of having your child's back, you're standing in front of them, the big protective bear. Well, what happens when you're not there? That's a very scary place to be, right? When mom's standing in front of me or dad's, there to protect me, I'm fine. But the moment they're not there, then what do? I've got no tools, right? So that is the key piece. That's where it all starts, is with understanding you have a natural ability to handle whatever life throws your way. So that's why we need to fully tune into who we are, to what our natural skills are. We need to polish up our resiliency rather than cover it up with sludge and gunk.
Yeah, I love the idea of sludge and gunk because remember, I'm the woman that woke up one day after going back to school, right? And thinking that I've got the world at my fingertips. And what happened? I was so crusted over that created crust busting. And by the way, crust busting is coming back, folks. We're planning this for April Fool's Day. But here it is. It is the place where we get to realize and recognize that we are not moving to the place that our soul, let's just say, for example, would love for us to go. And we're getting ways to find out what's holding us back. But, you say something that is important, resilience. Mm-hmm. I know for me, I've had a lot of fear in my life. And my mom used to say, oh, honey, if it don't kill you, it will make you stronger, hon. Yes. It will. And I believe that. Now, I don't choose to have those things happen in my life these days. I just know that if fear is driving them, I'm going to get more of them, Debbie. I'm going to get more.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is fear begets fear. That's what it does. It feeds it. It's like you're throwing logs on a fire and you're just making it bigger and bigger. The moment that you can say, all right, you know what? I know I can handle this. It's not going to be easy, but I'm going to do my best. So let's just take this a step back and let's go back to the child's situation, right? Because as a parent, we have all these little things we've been taught to say, things like, you know what, honey, it's going to make you stronger, or he probably has a crush on you, or all these little things that we say in an effort to make him feel better, when really we'd be so much better to say, you know, do you need a hug? Give them a hug, be there for them, and then say, so what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And now you can have that conversation with them. And it's fine for you to say, so do you want my help to brainstorm some ideas? That's a really tough situation you're in. And I'd like to help you however I can. But, you know, ultimately you're in charge. That is having their back, leading from behind, right? You got their back, you support them. And yet you're allowing them to stand on their own legs and to go out there and face the world, knowing that they can handle it. And that's the message. Barbara Colarosa said that in her Kids Are Worth It book. The big message you want them to get is that you can handle whatever life throws your way. Yeah. So I think that's a really
let's
key
talk
thing.
about this. Whatever life throws your way. I got to tell you, I've had a few things in life thrown my way, and so have you. But I've never been able to realize it, Debbie. I've never been able to think about, wait a minute, that's something being thrown my way, and it's being thrown my way so I can figure something really cool out. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about what are some of the things that really do weaken our power. What are some of the things that we believe we have no control over? But then what are some of the things that we feel we do have control over, yet can't seem to do very much about? Debbie Pokornik joining me here today. Yeah, we're going to go through the list of those things, and I bet you all know what they are. I bet you really do. If you want to weigh in on this conversation, you want to get some help today, 1-800-930-2819. Let's take a shorty. We'll be right back.
Curious about the meaning of life? Do you want to deepen your spiritual practice? The School for Esoteric Studies offers online training to spiritual seekers from all paths of life and individual coaching. Our courses synthesize Eastern and Western spiritual traditions based on meditation, study, and service applied to everyday life. The school also organizes group meditations each year to benefit humanity. Whether you're just beginning to reflect on the spiritual side of your life or are a more experienced spiritual seeker, the school warmly welcomes you to join our group. To learn more about our courses and services, please visit esotericstudies.net. That's esotericstudies.net.
Chances are you've been on your conscious journey for many years, and you've learned a lot about manifesting a wonderful life. But if you are like many others on their spiritual paths, you may still have some area of your life where you're feeling stuck. Perhaps you've read many books, attended lots of workshops, listened to many programs, and done plenty of inner work, and yet there is still something you'd like to change. With all the information out there, it may be hard to see the forest for the trees. Do you want to get a bird's eye view of that forest so you are empowered to navigate more effectively? Do you want to know the key to positive change and develop a personalized strategy for creating the changes you desire? Please join me, Christine Upchurch, for a 4-week webinar series beginning January 9th. Start your new year right and embrace the vibration of change. For more information, visit ChristineUpchurch.com. That's ChristineUpchurch.com or call 425-999-9836.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
A word of caution: if you prefer the status quo and you are not interested in improving every aspect of your life, this book will trigger the shift out of you. The Truth is Funny, Shift Happens is available now. Author Colette Steffen brings the powerful knowledge and life-changing energy and empowerment from the radio airwaves to the pages of her new book. To get your copy in paperback or ebook, visit thetruthisfunny.com today.
Oh, nice tune, Betty. Yeah, very, very cool. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Pat. I'm so thrilled to be with all of you. I'm just so excited about this year. This is our 15th year we're going into. Really excited about all of the above and what we're going to be doing to connect with all of you more powerfully. And Debbie Pokornik is part of that. Today's show is all about becoming a fearless parent. And it is something that, boy, Debbie, you just live and breathe this. You know, before we jump in and look at what weakens our power, let's talk a little bit about how people can work with you directly and what your website is and how they can listen to your archives.
Okay. My website is empoweringenergy.com. And that's 3 letters, nrg.com. And the Vibrant Powerful Mom Show, which is my show on Transformation Talk Radio, I have your beautiful widget that you guys have given me.
Oh, yeah.
right there on my website and on the podcast page. So all of the episodes are there. And actually everything's hooked up there. It's all on the blog and it's hooked up to Spreaker and you name it. There's lots of ways to get there. On that page, there's different ways that a person can work with me. And so today what I'm putting out there is to your audience especially, I would love to help them with the awakening process. So if they want to work one-on-one with me, they can go to my website at empoweringenergy.com and check out the work one-on-one, I think is what it's called. And there's a couple different options there, different ways that they can do it. And I'm offering $500 off, but they have to let me know. When we do the discovery call, they can say at that time, I heard you on Dr. Pat's show, and they'll get $500 off if they're before April 1st. Because at that point, I switch over and start doing retreats. And I will be doing some webinars before then as well, which they can certainly hop on to. That's all there on the website.
Yeah. So. Yeah. You know, one thing about this, Debbie, is that, you know, you and I both have gone out and have looked at our lives and decided we're going to take and make some changes, powerful changes in it. And, you know, it's not like I've always had a crystal ball to be able to say, I know this area over here, this is just dragging me down. But I just knew I had to do something different. What are some of the things that weaken our power?
Oh my gosh, there's so many pieces. So let's just talk about fear itself for a moment. Yeah. Okay. We are living in a time that there's all this, what I call fear mongering going on. Okay. There's this message, this underlying message everywhere that says, be very afraid. There's the sun is going to hurt you. Yes, it's true that the sun is what gives us life. And at the same time, it's going to kill you. It's going to hurt you. If you don't get a shot for something, for viruses, for whatever, not only are you not being a great parent, or you're not looking after yourself, but you're going to hurt other people. This message that, you know, you're going to be responsible for it. The weather, we're hearing all about terrible things going on that are very hard for us to hear and not to be afraid of. But because of global awareness, we're hearing it all. And the sensationalizing of it means if they get some good footage, they're going to show you that footage of people being, pulled away in a hurricane or tornado or whatever. This is all putting us into a victimization mode. It makes us feel like we're not capable of dealing with it. We feel like we're victims. Yeah, it's scary, hey? I mean, you can see all these people sitting. It's like they're sitting in their little cave down in this hole and thinking it's too scary to go out there. And some days it feels like I can understand why people would think that. If they're tuned in to all the things that are going on, it can feel really, really scary. But I tell you, if you listen to the news, and by that, I mean reading it on Facebook, watching the news, reading the paper. It doesn't matter how you get the news. But if you are listening to it all the time and you feel fear from it, then it is not your friend. You do not need that in your life at this moment. So this is probably one of the areas that I really have to work with people, because if they've been raised that you get the paper, you read the paper, you know everything going on, it's important to be informed, then what I need to work with them on is, all right, that's fine. I get that. I'm not going to take that away from you. But how then do you learn to compartmentalize, kind of like a doctor, say, would do? Let's say a surgeon. He can't take on the emotions of somebody dying personally every time he loses somebody, because he would burn out immediately. So you learn in social work, in any of the caring professions, you learn how to compartmentalize a little bit so that you don't take that on. Well, the average Joe doesn't necessarily know how to do that. So sometimes that's what you need to learn how to do. But on the other hand, if you do that too completely, you can now take that home, and now you're detached when your partner tells you something very upsetting to them. Right. You're going, oh, well, suck it up, princess. That kind of attitude comes from it. And that's not healthy either, because what's happening there is you're numbing out to all these feelings, and they're going somewhere. I tell you, we're human beings. We have to have these feelings all surging through us. And so we can't afford to just ignore them all, to stuff them all, because that too is giving our power away. Part of our power as humans is to be able to feel, to acknowledge those feelings, to process those feelings, and then to move on. So those are just a couple of the ways. Yeah.
I had a friend describe this really in an interesting way to me. And what she was saying is she's a psychohistorian or something like that. Okay. And it is this idea that if you go back in time and you look at the way we lived, way back in time as beings, that our level of alertness and awareness was so key to surviving that without it, we wouldn't be here, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what she said was, can you imagine if you were back in the cave people days, let's say, and you were just fighting off some kind of being, animal or otherwise, and the next thing you know is you were so fixated on what you just did that you didn't see the next thing coming at you. And she said, our evolution has allowed us not to hold on to the past, because if we look at it as anything more than an awareness to give us new skills, then by the time we realize that it is a thing, we're already eaten by the next thing that comes along.
Absolutely. And the big piece with that, or another sort of side to it, is that primitive wiring is still with us. And so when you think about all the strength, the adrenaline, the cortisol, all that stuff that is needed to fight off that bear or mammoth or a saber-toothed tiger or poisonous snake or whatever it is, that is flooding your system every time you have a moment of fear go through you. Even if your moment of fear is for, oh, what if he gets mad when I tell him he can't go sleep over at his friend's place? Or, what that maybe your car swerves a tiny bit on the road, or maybe even a lot, but you get that huge rush of adrenaline, cortisol, everything going through you in order to help you get away and survive. And it's not needed in that moment. So when you think of the number of times that you feel fearful, whether it even is just nervousness or anything, and that you allow that feeling to grow in you, you're using up so much of your body's stock, all the things like cortisol, that it needs to do other very important work.
Yeah. You know, part of this is we have a dream, we have a vision, we have something that we want to become. It's called becoming fearless. And it is kind of like I just said. I mean, my friend was telling me about, what if we could be like those cave people, so to speak, where if it wasn't for their, quote, fearlessness, they wouldn't have survived. They wouldn't have taken the risks they needed to take just to feed themselves. Mm-hmm. So what is it, with our primitive brains that is not adaptable to the society we live in? Let's take a short break. When we come back, Debbie's going to show us how do we become fearless regardless of what cave you're in. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you stuck in unhealthy habits, toxic relationships, or low self-esteem? Do you crave a life of inspiration, love, self-acceptance, and fun? Sounds like you're on the verge to your next big thing. Join Laura Richer, host of On the Verge Radio, helping you use your breakdown for a breakthrough, overcome life's greatest challenges, and live the life you want and deserve. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio or visit SeattleHealingHypnosis.com for more information.
The Truth is Funny. Shift Happens with Colette Marie Steffen is excited to welcome Karen Benton as a monthly guest host. Tune in on the third Wednesday of each month at 8 a.m. Pacific Time to regain confidence and trust in your capacity to create change in your life, your health, your family, and your well-being. Karen Benton is a mother, nurse practitioner, certified body talk practitioner, Franklin Method instructor, and owner of Limitless Living LLC. For more information about Karen, visit KarenBenton.com.
Hey, did you know why they call the foundation? It's called the foundation because it completely eliminates your foundation for what you thought your reality was and creates a whole new space where you can have an entirely new reality that is foundationless. So from my point of view, they should call it the unfoundation or the foundationlessness. Either way, there's a big new global rewrite happening again because these guys cannot stop changing. There should be like a Change Anonymous that Gary and Dane go to. And it's happening April 28th to May 1st. You can find out about it at accessconsciousness.com/global foundation. It's happening in Paris. Go to Paris or do it online or find a pod near you. These are all the options you have. And what else is possible?
To see your life from an angel's perspective, book a personal consultation with Claire Candy Huff, angelic walk-in angel Ariel at Angel Healing House. Candy provides intuitive counseling, Reiki, and angel readings in person in Los Angeles or nationally and internationally via phone or Skype. She will channel the practical tools you need to transform your life. Call now, 831-277-3716, or visit angelhealinghouse.com.
Are you searching? Looking for a sign? A message you need to hear? From the great unknown, from the most mysterious place that is the most familiar to your soul in the depths of who you are. The universe put someone here to talk to, someone God gave a blessing to, that you may find insight with. TheAngelLady.net. 1-800-323-1790. 1-800-323-1790.
Coming in the air tonight. A love
Hey, everybody, welcome back. I'm Dr. Pat. For more information about me, go to the Dr. Pat Show, or you can go to Transformation Talk Radio. Debbie Pokornik joining me here today. Again, Debbie, one more time before we talk about becoming fearless, how can people find out more about you?
They can visit my site, which is empoweringnrg, 3 letters, nrg.com. They will find all the information there where if they want to work one-on-one with me, take advantage of this $500 off before April, they can do that. If they want to find my podcast, Vibrant Powerful Moms, they can certainly find that there. They want to learn about my webinars. All of that is there for them.
Awesome. Now, Debbie and I are going to continue this dialogue here as time goes on in a different show. But right now, the scorecard that you have in front of you is the scorecard that says, listen, do you want to become fearless or not? Do you want to live in a place where fear runs your life and you're okay with it because you really don't want to fuel your dream? What is it that you could know to become fearless, Debbie? What do we need to know? But more importantly, what do we need to do?
All right. So the first thing that I have to say, and I mentioned this earlier, but it's a pretty big topic.
Yeah.
We have our ego. Our ego is our human side. It is afraid because it can die. It has a finite life period. It's born, it dies. The other piece of us is the higher self. And that is like our soul part. It goes on and on. It does not even know fear or any emotion really, other than like a state of bliss. And so and love is a big part of it as well. And so when you start to understand the difference between these two things, then you understand that the ego is a very important side of you. You want to love it up. You want to be there for it. You want to help it grow. But it is not meant to run the show. So when you're in a state of fear, you want to understand that's your ego being in charge. Same if you're blaming someone, wanting revenge, whatever. All of those kinds of feelings come from the ego side of things. We want to learn how to awaken to that higher self part of us so that we can live in that side or on that side as well. The whole idea is we first have to separate them and then we want to integrate them. Okay? So that is a big thing for people to take in. If they check out my podcast on the Vibrant Powerful Mom Show, they can get a lot more details. But once you understand that, then you can start going into a more of an observer role. You can start recognizing that this isn't something that is a piece of me as much as it's more like a message being sent to me. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Because, part of this is to be awake and aware, to hear the messages that are being sent. Every day when I wake up, I ask God, I ask Spirit, I ask angels, what is mine to do today? Mm-hmm. And then within almost like a nanosecond, I will get an answer. The courage for me and the move beyond fear is when I hear that I actually hear it and then do something about it. Not wait to get an answer that I'm much more comfortable with.
Yes. And with that, a huge part is to actually use a question like, I wonder what I can do. When you feel yourself backed into a corner with a situation that just isn't working out, that is creating a lot of fear for you, is to go into that state of, I wonder what I can do, because the universe will start giving you new ideas. If you instead go with there's nothing I can do, but I just have to deal with it. This is terrible. And you start going there, the universe isn't going to give you ideas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I do have a quick tool if we have enough time.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Okay. So this tool, I call it the CAPIT tool. And it's actually an acronym because, as you know by now, I love acronyms.
Yeah.
And so the C is to call it out. It's to actually go, all right, I am feeling afraid. what am I afraid of? And you can say these things out loud, or you can write them down. It doesn't matter, and especially if you're in public and you feel like you don't want to be saying them out loud. But what you want to do is you want to draw your full attention to them. What am I afraid of? I'm afraid that if my child starts school, he's so small and he's so sensitive, I'm scared he's going to be bullied. Okay. And then ask yourself the following question: what else? And so what else are you afraid of? Well, I'm afraid, we're only focusing on this one situation, okay? You don't want to do your whole life. What am I afraid of in my whole life? Just this situation right now with your child, for example. So now you go, well, I'm afraid that the teacher's not going to be there for him. I'm afraid that he's not going to tell me and he's going to end up becoming depressed, and that runs in my family, and off you go. And you write down all the things that you're possibly afraid of that relate to that situation. So that's calling it out. Secondly, the A is to appreciate it. What that means is fear is there as a messenger. It's meant to help you. And so rather than be upset by it or to think it's a bad thing, we're much better off to actually say, you know what, fear? Thank you. Come on in and thank you for helping to keep me safe or wanting to keep me safe. That's a big part of not resisting your natural humanness, but allowing it to be part of you. So I appreciate you. Thank you. The third part, the P, is to probe it. Really, now you become curious. I call it put on your detective's hat and become curious about it. What's going on? Where is this coming from? Or you might have a little situation come up that you suddenly remember when you were young and you started school and you were treated badly. And that's really where this is coming from. So when these things come up, they're little golden nuggets telling you, here's an opportunity for you to work through this. All right. So that's what the probing it is. The I of it is to identify the reality, because it's so easy for us to get caught up in all this hasn't happened yet, right? Your child has not been mistreated. They haven't even started school. And yet you've already got it figured out that this child's going to be bullied. So what do you have? In reality, what do you have? And you might think, well, there's that one time at daycare that this happened and, the other kids were picking on him. I guarantee you right now he wasn't being bullied at daycare unless it was an adult or an older child bullying him. But the point is that you notice what is reality. And typically when it comes to fear, most of it isn't. There's no truth to it. Okay. There's a lot of, well, this could happen. And that's what I'm afraid of, is what could happen. All right. So you identify what's real and then you take action. That's the T. Take action. So taking action means, all right, so maybe I need to teach my child some assertiveness skills. Maybe I need to talk to them about, all right, so if something did happen, here's what you could do. Right. Or maybe in the identifying reality, you came up with a situation, and so you can think, okay, so what should I teach them about that? What to know? So it's a very simple little process that you go through to cap it and deal with that fear. Allow it to dissipate and be off. And now there's something valuable you can do from it.
Yeah. You know what I love about what you're sharing, Debbie, is I love that it gives us an option that we probably didn't believe we had. An option that says, wait a minute, I don't have to live with fear in my life. There are ways that I can move beyond it. And that in itself, don't you think, is really awakening for people?
Absolutely. And, I mentioned earlier about people sitting down in their hole. Things like fear and the thoughts that feed the fear, those are like shovels, and you can't dig yourself out of a hole. So we don't want to be digging. Put down your shovels. And one of the best ways is to just become aware, to start noticing the fear and stop trying to push it away and escape from it. You want to shine a light directly on it. It's shadow. So, and one other thing I just should mention is being nervous and being excited are almost the exact same physiological states. So sometimes it's just what we call it that causes the problem. I'm really afraid to do this versus, I'm pretty excited about this. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Right. And, I love what you just said, because I have had so many conversations with myself that, got me in the middle of procrastination in ways I can't even begin to imagine. Debbie, thank you so much. One last question. What's your personal message? What would you like to leave us with today?
I just really want to remind people that your child has chosen you as their parent. So that's not a mistake. You are the perfect person to parent your child. Understand this is your child's journey. You are in a supportive role when it comes to your child's journey. So notice that. Put your energy where you can make the greatest difference, which is with yourself, your own awareness, and see what happens. Because it really is meant to be a joyful experience. And it becomes so much more fun when we do that.
Debbie, thank you so much. One last time, please give everybody your website.
Oh, it's www.empoweringnrg.com.
I love it. Debbie Pokornik, everybody. I'm Dr. Pat. Happy New Year to all of you and happy new day. We'll see you next time.
Preceding audio was via a Skype call.